So what makes this album stand out from Late Registration, Graduation, 808s, and My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy?
It's a culmination of all those albums.
Wait, say those albums again.
Late Registration, Graduation, 808s, and My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy.
And
what was the question again?
What makes this album stand out
from them?
Yeah, because most people put those up there like, "Yo, this is." Or let me reword the question. Not stand out from. What would put this album up there with?
This is the evolution.
You can evolve and be trash.
The evolution of greatness. This is the culmination of everything he's done in his career.
Speaking of, why wasn't Life of the Party on this album? Now that would be because when you say the culmination, I don't hear My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy-esque.
I totally disagree.
Hip hop. I don't hear a lot of hip hop in the sense of like going in that direction, like a My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy or Late Registration or songs off of Graduation. Now, sonically, like Power, things like that, okay, I can pull that, but the stadium sound, yes. But in regards to like just like a Life of the Party, like that's a song, like you listen to that, it has that hip hop feel, like, okay, old school hip hop. We don't hear that on this album, Donda album.
I disagree.
What songs?
Jonah.
Sounds like a modern day song.
It does.
But he's rapping on it.
No, we're not just talking rapping. I'm talking about a feel. Like when you hear I'm trying to think.
No, I get an old school rap shit from the Call and Repeat off of Pure Souls. I get old school Yay on New Again.
New Again, Lord,
I get old Yay on Believe What I Say. What
sounds like it's a house. It's a house fused or house inspired song. I'm talking about like when you hear Life of the Party, that could take me back to
you mean soul sample Kanye.
That's what say what you mean.
Because there was not a lot of soul sampling on goddamn My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy.
But Devil in a New Dress.
Which just went platinum.
Or Devil in a New Dress, yeah, right. Yeah, nigga, Power technically is a sample. Although, well, no, it's not. That's not a sample. What's the There's more samples on that album than what we give credit for.
Yeah,
he just sampled different.
Let me not jump out the window.
No, he sampled different. That's what I say. If you just saw the
when
soul
you say,
sample.
when you say soul sample, I go back to College Dropout.
Yeah, but even Late Registration.
I mean, like, yeah, but he evolved it. I'm just
saying,
that's what
I'm saying. He evolved this. He can't even call it soul sampling because he stopped sampling soul records.
So let me.
But Life of the Party, that was a soul. That was a soul sample.
Yeah, it was a soul sample.
He's still sampling, but he's not strictly sampling soul.
That's where the difference. That's all I say. Are you talking about the soul sampling Kanye? Because he's sampling.
I think that's what he means.
So when you say soul sample, I immediately go to College
because
Dropout.
You're looking for.
I'm not looking for. I'm just saying this album. What was it? I forgot the goddamn.
You were saying you wanted to sound like Life of the Party. Like, why do you have that type of sound?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. You talking about the soul sampling aspect of that song.
Well, y'all were comparing like because I was like, what was the question?
No, you were saying
I had to change the question. I had to change the question.
Because you were saying something about like him not being as hip hop, and I was like, yeah, he was doing this shit like on Jonah. He was rapping his ass off, and I was saying this about Life of the Party too.
And you're talking about old school hip hop vibes. Right. He gave you Call and Repeat on Pure Souls. What's a more old school hip hop vibe than a Call and Repeat?
It's outside, yeah, we outside. It's outside. That sounds like goddamn where Brooklyn at, or goddamn throw your hands in the goddamn air. Like you just don't care. See, it's hip hop, nigga.
One song got a 27.
He did the same thing on. Yeah, he gave you songs. Okay. I gave you songs.
Juno, what did I mean?
But those are modern.
So are you talking about soul sample? What are you talking about?
When we listen to My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, it has a certain feel.
It's not an old school hip hop feel. What are you talking about?
Let me pull up the album.
I don't get an old school hip hop feel at all from My Beautiful.
Because it started with me saying Life of the Party. Like that had a certain feel. Why wasn't it on the album? Okay, I see it doesn't really mesh with the album.
You didn't even let anybody answer that. You went into something completely different. So
I said Life of the Party, then I was like,
what makes this album stand out?
Then
so
I changed it and said, how is it up there with? Is that what it is?
Yeah, that's what you changed it to.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're still talking about Life of the Party and what makes this album up there? One question at a time, sir. Which one would you?
Well, go. You know both of the questions. Just answer the question. Just answer. Just answer the question.
What makes this album up there is that I think the album is iconic.
Sound like me. You know what happened to me last week.
Yeah, well, I dare him.
So you mean it's like a chronic?
I do actually mean it's like a chronic because a chronic was not strictly a Dr. Dre production. It was a compa-fucking-lation.
Oh, that nigga Daz Warren G.
And the DOC. And it was also Snoop Dogg's coming out album.
So what was this in relation to?
I'm saying it's a compilation.
Okay, compilation on that aspect. This album feels more like a compilation rather than a Kanye album in that aspect, if you want to say that. What makes this one up there with those albums? The production, the effort he put into it, as I keep saying. Mm-hmm. You can tell the difference when Kanye actually tries or when he just has some ideas and he's trying to do a whole bunch of different things at the same time. Mm-hmm. AKA Yeezus, Cruel Summer, the whole debacle of 2018.
I love the Yeezus album.
Well, I'm not saying they're not good albums. I was saying, but it was like all over the place. Okay. Like he didn't like sit down and really make it all come together.
Now let's find out what album he's talking, what songs he's talking about.
Well, I remember where I figured out where I was like, because you said it was a culmination of all of those albums, and then I said, well, I hear like, okay, we got Power, you got
Power sounds like it could be on Graduation or 808s.
No, I'm saying he's pulling from, like, so she said it sounded like a culmination of all of them. Mm-hmm. But then I was like, I felt like there's some elements missing. So that's where we got off.
You can take the Marilyn Manson inside of Jail 2, and that's Devil in a New Dress with the rock guitar right there.
I'll say also, I'll add to that. Also, it's more like a Hell of a Life.
Yeah.
And that Hell of a Life also starts out by him saying stadium fucking sound.
So I hear. Okay, let me change. Let me.
That didn't work. Let me throw something else in the mix. All these niggas got answers.
Wait a minute. Now, calm down now.
Because that ain't what I asked.
What I said was. Tell you what I know.
No. So you the smarty art nigga. This is coming next. So you the smarty art nigga. You smarty art nigga. Tell me this. Can you whoop my ass? It's coming next. We got too many answers. He not.
I'm really trying to understand.
Okay, so let me break it down. So same. I'm not changing nothing. It's like, okay, I hear a lot of Yeezus influence. I hear like when you look at Power or Stronger. That's the word. That's the song I was trying to think about. Stronger. Like those type of songs, I feel he's pulling more from 808s, more so, Yeezus more so, and then like the stadiums, like, well,
the whole album.
Graduation was more so stadium going into that mode. But I'm saying like when you get into late registration, like We Major or Drive Slow, or like I don't hear those type. Like he's not pulling from that.
Those are the easier samples.
You're looking exactly there.
Soul samples. We major, and then Drive Slow is a known sample.
I'm talking about the song, like the feel, not the sample.
The feel is
I'm not talking about the sample.
You're looking,
I'm just throwing those out there. I'm not saying those per se. I'm looking for like a hip hop feel. That's why I say when I say a more of a feel, a certain feel. Like Life of a Party has a Drive Slow. Well, We Major not.
Why don't you just say?
I want another college dropout. Kanye. I want a college dropout too.
You want that? Oh yeah, you want that from the go? Yeah. Why don't you just say that?
No, because I'm basing it off what you said. You said it's a culmination.
It is a culmination.
So I'm saying I'm not hearing anything from certain elements of that. I just named. That's what I'm saying. I'm not hearing
elements from those songs.
And I'm not saying me per se. I asked the question to you, to y'all. You said what you said. So I'm like, well, I'm not hearing he's not pulling from this. I'm not saying this is what I want. I'm just responding to what you said.
Okay, but we just told you. And so when we told you, we gave you the answers. You said, okay, so.
Because it wasn't understood. Let me break it down. I had to.
The one thing that Kanye does in his whole career that he did not do in this album was what? Soul sample.
That's it. That's the only thing he did not do was use a soul sample. That is the only thing that he did not do was use an old school R&B soul sample. Instead, he flipped Lauryn Hill.
That was the closest you got to that.
Okay. I just asked the question. I didn't say. I didn't say this is how I feel, and then y'all are arguing what I said I feel. Goddamn. How y'all get me? And I asked you the question.
Hey, you think you got me, but my back's not against the wall. Don't let the lifestyle drag you down.
How y'all get me? And I asked you the question. And I just responded to
because you tried to argue it. You did what you do best.
Because you said, "Oh, I don't mean soul samples. I mean it's a feel." We're like the only thing missing as far as the feel is the soul samples.
I feel it feels more like electro
magnetic booty bass.
So it's like I'm focusing on that. I'm not talking about, like I said, just soul sampling. I'm just like the feel. It feels like it's electronic heavy. Of course it's gospel heavy. So when you say the culmination, I'm like, okay, well, what about these elements as well? I don't see that being that you said it's a culmination.
It's a culmination. And
then every example you gave, we told you the soul sample or the sample, or we gave you an example on the album. You said, no, it's not.
And you can evolve a soul sample by giving you a Lauryn Hill sample.
Yeah, he evolved with that.
It's neo soul. So technically he still gave you a soul sample.
So I was wrong. I apologize.
Moving on.
That's all I wanted. I just asked the question. Goodness gracious.
I'm the one that had to say I was wrong for it to end.